for questions. Let me ask you one thing that I think I would be remiss if I don't ask you. We know in Washington, D.C. a lot about the two major parties in Kurdistan, and we had a good idea of some of the new parties like Goran. But what can you tell us about the future bloc that you just helped form, and what is it? Is it it came after the elections.
Right.
So this is one of the ways where Iraqi politics has two stages. Once you form coalitions and enter the elections,
Right.
and that just to get seats and get negotiation power. But the true negotiation power and the true action happens with the groups and blocs that are formed under the, what they call it, the ceiling of the parliament, and that's where the action works. So what is this group? Is it a new group? What are the future plans for it? What are you trying to accomplish by forming it?
If you allow me to
and some policy perspective
exactly,
of what it looks for, which is more important.
Our view on Kirkuk and other disputed areas and future of Baghdad-Erbil relations, I will talk about that, but we just allow me to a little bit go back to the history of Kurdish political parties. The oldest Kurdish political party in Iraqi Kurdistan is the Kurdistan Democratic Party. It is formed in 40s, and after like 15 years, there were two groups of people within KDP. The groups were called the educated and young, the people with suit and tie, and then the tribal. They united, they formed Kurdistan Democratic Party, and President Mullah Mustafa became the president of the Kurdistan Democratic Party, but it was formed to be a progressive and democratic party. But after 15 years, 15 or maybe more than that, 17 years, that didn't work. The first division of the Kurdistan Democratic Party happened in 1963. It's because the educated and young people like Talabani, they refused to surrender to tribalism. They refused having a tribal leader to run a party, and they were more fighting against having a family or a dynasty ruling Kurdistan or ruling a political party. So they separated, and then there were so many clashes and civil war until 1999. I mean, they were fighting, killed so many from each other, more than Saddam killed from Peshmerga. They killed from each other. And that was based on the vision that is against the tribalism. PUK was formed to refuse tribalism and embrace more progressive and democratic values, and leftist somehow. But unfortunately, KDP slowly became another version, PUK became another version of KDP. Talabani's family slowly controlled the party leadership, and then Goran came, the change movement came, and they were against having one family controlling the party and repeating KDP. And Goran became successful for around 10 years because that was the idea. I mean, Goran didn't have any opportunities to hire people, to buy loyalists by giving them financial opportunities. They were formed based on a value that they are against family party. They are for a progressive and democratic one. But after the death of Naushira Mustafa, the leader of Goran, yes, unfortunately, the Goran also very quickly became another family party. And we formed the new generation. That's supposed to be something completely new. And we found, I'm not going to talk about that in details because it's going to take time, but we found, which I was the co-founder of that, and we worked on that, many young people, women. I think we had the largest women organizers than any other political party, which my wife, she's here, she played a great role in that by bringing women together for elections to join the party. But then quickly, within a couple months, I think that also took the same path very quickly. After the elections, we found ourselves that we are being controlled by, this is the same nature for KDP, PUK, Goran, and also New Generation. One family, one person, one company, controlling everything. And then we refused that idea, and then we formed the future, which is based on against dynasties or a family that controlled the political party. We refused that. and we are looking for partnership with people in other provinces, in Kirkuk, in Mosul. We don't care about which ethnic group they represent, which religion or or which God they pray to. So we are based on the democratic values that we are not going to have another failure, another political party being controlled by family. So that was how the future came up, and we formed a new coalition in Kurdistan parliament and also in Iraqi parliament. Our vision is that was our vision in New Generation, but then they departed from that, is that Baghdad is an opportunity. And Baghdad, this is how we should see it. And our future is in Baghdad, and it is not in Ankara, or it's not in Washington, or it's not in Tehran. These capitals can be helpful, can be our partners, but when we work together with Iraq, with other components, and we see that the peaceful coexistence in Iraq for Kurds is the only way forward, not the other ways. And also our vision for Kirkuk is completely different. We believe that Kirkuk need to be seen as normal, as other governorates. It has some constitutional unique situation, but the people need a life. The Kirkukis need to be heard. The Kirkukis need to be first to decide how it's Kirkuk. By the way, Kirkuk is a disputed city in Iraq between Kurdistan region and Baghdad. They paid so much since 50s. They've been Arabized, ethnic cleansing, and so much violence happened in Kirkuk. I think now it's time to change that narrative. It's ours or it's Baghdad's. It's Kurdistani, it's Iraqi. So Zakho is part of Kurdistan region, but it's part of Iraq. Suleimani is the same. Basra is the same thing. Why we should, based on the constitutional disagreement, we destroy the lives of the Kirkukis? We should have a different vision. We refuse ethnic solution for Kirkuk, for disputed areas. We think that's going to be decided by the people in those areas. The constitutional solution is going to be something that's going to happen when there's peace and when there's stability. During instability, I think anyway was trying to impose its unilateral policies. It will fail and it will explode.
Let me violate my promise and